Welcome to Dynamite Delight. Before I get started, I want to say thank you very much for the people who have seen the NWA Power Review. I didn't think even 10 people would be watching it, and I got like in a couple hours 30. That's way more than what I get, so thank you very much. A second thing, I'm not doing the botch line of pictures because this time around, camera work in AEW has always been pretty damn good, so you don't have to worry about seeing a huge amount of ass like you would see it in Impact, would see it in NWA, and see in MLW, if you even see anything at all, because they're even worse. So camera work was alright. Third thing that I really need to address before I get started, my rant, and I'll try to make it short. How many factions do you think NWA has? 1. How many factions are in WWE? Well, counting on the faction of the Hurt Business now being destroyed, none now. Because that was the best faction they had. What does Impact have? Violent by Design and Decay. Those are the strongest factions they got. Really. How many factions do you think AEW has? I had to write it down because I couldn't remember them all. I gotta write it. Here. The factions. Best friends now with Statlander. You got the Inner Circle. You got the Pinnacle. You got the Death Triangle. Yes, they're a faction because there's 3 people in it. You got the you got the Hardy Family Office. That's another one. You got the Bullet Club, which now I got to talk about. You got Jurassic Express because you do have Marco Stunt in it. That's 3 people. You have now the Dark Order that has a huge amount of people. And I got to talk about -1 if I don't forget. And finally, QT Marshall and his faction. That's roughly, how many factions is that? That's 1. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nearly 9 factions in one fucking show. 2 or 3 factions. That's okay. Because it gives you variety. You can have a good guy faction, you can have a bad guy faction, and one that you could say maybe could drift between the 2. Could be a good guy, or maybe choose to be a bad guy, or be in between, or not even do anything that either one of they do. They don't involve themselves, they don't screw around. They could be around like the NAWAP. You see, I'm angry. The APA. The Acolyte Protection Agency. 8 or 9 factions in a promotion is stupid. I don't care what you said. It's stupid to have 3 or 4, or in this case, 9 factions that have over 3 people in it. It's dumb. There's no trios title yet, so this is stupid. Unless they bring out a title, they better bring out a title, because they don't bring out a triple title, 3-man title. This was freaking stupid. Now I'm done my rant. What do we got? We had Page versus Caster from the Acclaim. I'll say this. The rapping for the Acclaim has gotten better. Haven't seen them much because they're on Dark majority of the time, or Elevation. But the rapping is better. Yeah, I think the ones there are feeling more comfortable about it, so it was alright. But here's the thing. I'm still mad about the factions. Excuse me. Hangman Page has been in the business 12 years. He was 16 when he started. You got Caster, who's been in the business 6 years. He was, 25 when he got started. Why are they having this match? Why are you putting Caster up against Page? Is there no one else for Page to work with? Couldn't he work with somebody else with a better caliber than a Caster? Unless they're trying to elevate Caster as a singles competitor when he's a tag team competitor. Unless they're going to finally break him away, I don't see the reason why you should put Caster in that situation. And pretty much Caster got his ass handed to him, which I wasn't surprised. I don't understand. Let's move on. Death Triangle had their moment to talk, which got cut off. Then you get this. Best friends with Statlander, who's now joined them, making it a faction, a bigger one than it was. And you don't give the credit to Death Triangle You don't let Phoenix and Pac have their moment. You now bring out Chuck, you bring out Trent, you bring out Orange, and you could have done this in an interview. Especially letting the Statlander have her moment with them. No, you bring them out in the most stupidest thing. I'm sorry. Why would you bring them out? Why would you do this? Why would you put it like this? They haven't had their match against the Bucks yet. And now you bring I'm saying breast because of Statlander. She's a cute ass woman. Best friends. And I don't understand why. Why do it so soon? Why would you have Chuck and Trent, Orange and Statlander even deal with Death Triangle now until they either won their match or they lost their match against the Bucks? Particularly what happened at the end of the show. Why? I don't get it. Moving on. Okay. I'm not going in order here. We got Christian Cage. He was about to have his interview, putting over Kazarian, trying to put himself over. And then you got Taz saying clearly, hey, me and you got history. I trust you. You trust me. We are friends. I'm offering you a chance to come into Team Taz. Don't think about it now. I know you're thinking I'm getting you on the spot. No. You need Team Taz. Team Taz needs you. These guys will give you some. You want to get somewhere? These guys will get you somewhere. And they need to be gotten somewhere. They need you. Cool. Then you got the dissension of Team Taz, particularly with Brian Cage, who looks like he's trying to break away. And maybe you might have the Cages. No, I think I called Brian Cage and Christian Cage the bird in the cage, or the Uncaged. Maybe that might be the best name for them. Brian and Christian Cage. The Uncaged. The Unchained. That might be better. The Uncaged might be the best thing to call this tag team of Brian Cage and Christian Cage. I know you're going to say, are you serious? You're going to put Brian Cage in a tag team with Christian? Well, honestly, it kind of makes sense. Brian Cage needs to break away, but he needs something. Brian has always, and I'm saying this as a fan of Brian Cage, and I don't know if Melissa is going to actually join AEW because she's not seen on Twitch anymore. Either she's working in the back in Impact Wrestling or they let her go. That's going to be the question. I don't know if she's still in Impact. She might not be. Maybe she's home with her baby. And maybe she'll eventually join AEW with a man. I don't know. But I'm saying this right now. The Cage with the Cage. The Uncaged makes the most sense. Brian can learn something from Christian. And Christian can get a lot of rub working with a younger talent who really has a good amount of momentum. Well, will have once he breaks away. I know if you're going to say that's going to drag him down, but honestly, you actually think Brian Cage is going to get dragged down any more than going from Team Taz to this, knowing full well they got nothing for him. Remember, he doesn't have anything to do. It's better to stick him in a tag team. I'm just saying. We got QT Marshall speaking about his 4 members of his factory. He's not saying the Nightmare Factory. He's saying the factory. He pretty much says, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm done with this. I saw you. I've been your friend, but I saw you how you've been struggling when you were dealing with Ted DiBiase and his kid, and Ted DiBiase's kid, and never getting anywhere, and you got sick and tired of it, and you wanted something better. Well, you know what you did? You started a company and get vanilla midgets in there, and that's all the shit you do. Well, guess what? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of being second fiddle. I'm sick of seeing guys like me getting treated like dirt. We're not taking it anymore. Here's my faction. Another faction. Maybe 9 factions I'm talking about. Or is it 8? I can't remember. It's either 8 or 9 factions. That's too many damn factions. If there had been 3 or 4 factions, that would make some sense. But 9? I'm just saying. Sting had his moment, and here's the problem. I didn't get a chance to see the entire segment of Sting dealing with Archer and Jake Roberts, but I have to take a guess. Jake started talking, trying to mess with Sting. Archer comes in, grabs Jake's mic, and says, I'm sick of this. You should not be here. That should be my spot. Your little shrimp should be dealing with me. I'm sick and tired of getting the shaft. I came in as a monster, and I got treated like dirt. And then you see, I don't have the shot, of Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky together. It's like they're scouting for a new guy that's been treated like dirt. And for me personally, I don't like seeing Scorpio like that. I don't see Ethan Page like that. They should not be teamed together. Honestly, they should not be in a team. And worse, you may put them with Archer as a faction. That's going to piss me off. But the thing that got me is when Sting started saying, you're right. I don't know why you're not having your opportunity. Jake, then the stream died. I could not see what happened after that. But my guess is he's starting to try and blame Jake for what happened to Archer. Saying, maybe he might have said, what's been going on, Jake? Aren't you supposed to be his manager? Aren't you supposed to make sure he gets his fairness? And my guess is he probably stared at Jake. I do not know if he tried to nail Jake or not. Jake probably tried to calm him down and drag him into the back. Hopefully they will do a backstage segment to clarify this. But I don't know. You guys tell me below. Now, we had Drake. I can't remember his name. I think J.D. Drake. I could be wrong. Or J.C. Drake. I'm not sure. Versus Darby Allin. Now, you had Nimitz there. The Dolph brother, who I think eventually is going to go to WWE and work with his brother Dolph. Because I don't see Dolph Ziggler ever leaving WWE. I could be wrong, but I don't see him leaving. But if he ever did, he's heading to AEW with his brother. Either that or Impact. But the point is, Nimitz was there. Nunzio, I believe his name is. Because I keep forgetting his name because I don't see him often enough. But clearly, they both get nailed by Sting. Sting goes into the back. But then you see, Drake is a very rough wrestler. He threw the Darby Allin around like not even as a rag doll. He threw him around like he was a pit bull grabbing onto one of those ropes. Pit bulls grab and just go like this. That's not even a rag doll. That's a toy. He toyed with him. I don't have the shot. He literally grabbed him because he was on the ring skirt. Threw him up against the two ring ropes. The top ring rope and the middle ring rope. Threw him up against and gave him a clothesline, and he hit the floor like a sack of potatoes. He just hit the floor bad. That was so nasty. I loved it. Hopefully, Darby Allin didn't get hurt too badly, but it was bad. In the end, I didn't expect Darby Allin to win. Of course he didn't win. Drake did not win. I didn't expect Drake to lose. You know the reason why I'm botching here? Drake looks interesting. And you just fed him to Darby Allin. I love me to Darby Allin. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. But I don't want to see talent that looks like they could be used and could be done something with just as a jobber. He looks interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing Jake Roberts working with him than a Lance Archer, because Lance Archer doesn't need him anymore. But a Drake, I do believe that he could use a Jake Roberts. And that's what's pissing me off. That's just me. All right. We had Britt Baker in her moment. And she did put over herself. She put over slightly put over Thunder Rosa, who is currently, when I saw, in NWA Power. If you didn't see that, take a look at it, and then take a look at it again. That's what someone once said about watching, which episode? I think The Mandalorian with Luke Skywalker on it. Some people said, you must see The Mandalorian, the last episode. You must see it to show them that we love it. Go see The Mandalorian, and then go see it again. And that's where you get this situation with NWA Power. My episode. My review. Just take a look at it and look at it again. In the entirety, because YouTube does not see it. And I don't believe I just said that. I feel so ashamed of myself. I'm sorry, guys. Honestly, I'm trying to be more fun and joking in these episodes. And it makes me feel awkward. And if you're not even saying, dude, what are you worrying about? Joke around. But it's not something I'm used to. Because of the Gump Report, I've been trying to incorporate this into my shows. And admittedly, it's more fun. But it's not something I'm used to. I'm an introvert. So, sorry. And I just dragged this out. I'm sorry. Britt Baker did a good job. And I'm still not interested in her character, but her ring work is good. And I'm glad that she's getting somewhere. The Bunny versus Conchi. The Matt Hardy family. I know it's not Matt Hardy, but I'm going like the Hardy family office. That makes no sense. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Why did Matt? No. Why did you call yourself the Hardy family office? No. The Matt Hardy Empire. M-H-E. Should be that. The Hardy Empire, the Matt Hardy Empire sounds better than the Hardy family office. Just sounds so, ugh. I don't like it. But did I like this match? It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And the thing I gotta bring up, I'm sorry guys. If all of you are enjoying -1 being on the show, I'm sorry. I don't agree. In the beginning, after his dad died, I could understand that. The first couple of weeks, maybe a month, after his father passed away, I can understand it. But we're well beyond his dad dying. A couple of months now. He should not be on the show. He should not be on the show. I understand if he asked to be on the show. If he's shown maybe 3 or 4 times in this year, that's cool. That makes it special. But him being a regular on the show, no. It almost feels like exploitation. That's what some people are going to say. For me personally, I'm seeing disrespect. Not that he's being exploited. I'm telling you right now, he's not. I'm hoping he's not being exploited, and I don't believe he is. But if you want to make him special and not eventually get booed, because let's be honest here, even a little kid can be booed by the crowd if they push hard enough with his son. And I don't know how he's going to respond to that. His dad is passed away. Yes, he may understand what a heel and a face is. And if he becomes a heel, maybe he'll be all right with it. But if he's not, I do not want to see this little kid get upset because people start booing him. He may not be able to handle that. We are talking about a small boy that is 10 or 11 years old. I think he's 11. I'm not sure. 10 or 11. I don't remember. But I'm telling you right now, I don't remember. You guys can tell me below. He might be 10 or 9 or 11. I just don't remember, but it's not the point. The point is that he should not be on this show constantly. Yes, I know he's not every single episode, but he should only be there once or twice more through this year. But they've been showing him a lot coming out. I'm sure they show him on Dark as well, or Elevation, and it should not be that way. He should not be on any of AEW's content. It should be rare. It should be for a pay-per-view he should come out. He could stay in the back and be with everybody there. And he could be on Be the Elite. There's nothing wrong with him doing the skits on Be the Elite. But Dynamite, Elevation, or Dark, he should be excluded. So I'm hoping this is the last time they show him. But if they don't, I'm going to keep talking about this. I don't want to see a little kid be used in this situation, particularly that he might be still not being able to handle his father's death. Tell me below what you think, because that's what I'm thinking. Of course, Conchi won. I'm not surprised. I'm not. But I'm just worried. Now, we got the Bucks and Moxley versus Kenny and Good Brothers. You know what? Wait, let me get rid of this one. I'm getting it done. I'm mistaken. I shouldn't talk about this now. I shouldn't. The Pinnacle, dealing with Inner Circle. That's the one I should do first, because I should do this last. The Pinnacle gets pissed off at what happened with the Inner Circle, and you guys tell me below, did Chris Jericho sound a little tipsy? Did he sound like he was talking like this? Like he was a little tipsy? Like he was a little drunk? Because at one point, once he started getting upset, he turned bright red, baby. He turned red. He wasn't red in the beginning of his promo, which he was putting over the Inner Circle. He was putting over the Pinnacle. He was burying the Pinnacle. He was burying MJF. He was burying everybody else, which I was fine with. He did a good job, but he sounds like this. And I'm for one to such interest. He sounded a little drunk. It sounded like he decided, you know what? I want to have a little bit of my bubbly before I go out. And he said, let me have a little more. And let me have a little more. I'm ready. He sounded like that. And his pacing made me think he sounded a little drunk. Not like this drunk, but just a little tipsy. Because of the way he sounded. And then turning bright freaking red by the end of the segment saying, we are coming for you. We are turned a new leaf. We are going to destroy you. That's generally what he said. And then later in the night, the Pinnacle comes out and destroys him. Until Tyson comes out. Because he had been advertised to come to the show. He comes out. He beats up on Spears. And then once the rest of the Inner Circle comes out, him and they're in my face. They shake hands and big a hug. Now Tyson and Chris Jericho are friends, and it looks like Tyson's part of the Inner Circle, which, I gotta say this. Out of anyone to join the Inner Circle that is a non-wrestler, I'm actually alright seeing Mike Tyson join the Inner Circle. If he actually joins AEW and works with the Inner Circle and does segments and is out there periodically, that would actually be kind of cool. Because I think out of any legend that is non-wrestler, I truly believe that he's one of those that actually could work in AEW. Could. Not saying he will work, but could. Now, finally, they turned. I think that's the best title to say this. Moxley and the Bucks versus Good Brothers and Kenny. This was not about the match, which was a decent, a good match. This was about happening at the end of the match. You got the Young Bucks at the end of the match not wanting to do the Be the Elite trigger on Kenny Omega. In fact, Nick and Mac Jackson, he just could not stand. I think I got a shot in my face. He could not stand hurting Kenny. He cared still about him. He still loved him. He didn't want to hurt him. When he had to hurt him, he said, are you all right? And Moxley was getting angrier, and first he got frustrated, then he got frustrated more, then he started getting angry, then he got really mad, and by the time they were supposed to do their signature move, they refused to do it. They backed off against Kenny, and then Moxley tagged himself in, gave 2 paradigm shifts, and tried to choke his ass out, and he got stopped by the Bucks. He got stopped by him. Then when it was all said and done, when Kenny's telling them to super kick his ass, they super kicked him reluctantly. And now they've now joined the Bullet Club. Is this good? I don't know, maybe. The problem I have here, before my battery dies, because I see that sucker flickering really bad, is that simply there are too many factions. There's so many damn factions that's pissing me off. And that's the problem I'm having with this segment. It's negated mostly because you got 9 freaking factions, with most of them with 3 guys or more. I can understand the Inner Circle. I can understand the Bullet Club. And I can understand the Dark Order. But wait a minute, why did it stop flickering? I'm confused. Anyway, I don't understand why you have more than just 3 factions. Look, if you're bringing in a triple title, fine. But if you're not going to bring a triple title in now, you need to break up most of those factions. I'm sorry. You need to break up some of those factions. There are too many. Best Friends, I understand. Inner Circle, I understand. Dark Order, I understand. The Pinnacle, that's stretching it because it's so much. Then, there's too many factions, guys. There's more guys in the factions than they actually have wrestling. They need to trim them down. Or get a triple belt tagged. They need a trios belt to supplement with all these guys. And I know it didn't say anything about Jurassic Express and Bear Country because of Godzilla versus the Kong. I'm a Godzilla fan, guys. I mean, I like Kong. I remember seeing the original Kong from the 30s. I remember seeing the Kong from the 90s. I never liked it. I can't stand the Kong later where he kicked Godzilla's butt. I'm a Godzilla fan, but still, there's too many damn factions. It's squeezing out everything else. But this is just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Look for my Impact Wrestling. It's coming out tomorrow. Peace.